Hello, my name is Tony Pemberton. I'm the director of the film program at Montclair State University, and I'm here with a recent alumni who had just recently graduated from the BFA film program, and you've just seen their short films. I'd love to ask them a lot of questions. I asked them way too many questions when I was their professor, so we'll go into maybe one at a time. I'm going to go from left to right, but it's probably different for all of you. I wanted to ask all the filmmakers first of like what their inspiration was, what made them come up with these ideas for these films, or what brought them to make these films. And first, Daniel.
So I actually, there's a lot of different inspiration that went into X Disposure. Part of it was like I was very interested in this Fugazi documentary by Jim Cohen that really influenced the visual style and language of the film. But I was also very I was really inspired by Paul Schrader as one of the filmmakers that really made me want to get into the program, honestly. And the way he talked about sort of writing Taxi Driver as a way of putting the worst version of himself on screen. And I sort of saw that as a therapeutic way of dealing with some of the stuff that I was going through at the time I started writing the script.
Wow. Okay. And Adam?
Yeah, so for Starcade, I'd always loved video games from a very early age, and my dad and I we used to spend a lot of time in arcades, and you don't really find them all over anymore. So I wanted to kind of use that love of video games and go back in time to just make a film celebrating video games and what one man will do to get his high score.
And Alex?
So everybody kind of went through Montclair with like an idea of where they wanted to be at the end of their career at school, and regardless of that, you still had to make a thesis film. And I was struggling at the time with what I wanted to do because of the fact that I wanted to work with sound so much. And eventually, when I was talking with my roommates at some point, I was like, well, how do I make a film where I can make sound the most important part of the movie, but do as little effort as possible with the filming, because I know that's going to be the hardest part. So I just thought we just do a bare bones documentary 1-day shoot, and we'll just make some fun little gags and we'll just see what we can do with it. And I worked so hard on getting all the props together the day before, and then we just destroyed the room with them. And most of what happened with the actual film was mostly just the editing in the weeks after we filmed. And that was really it. It was just having as much fun as possible with it.
And Evan?
Yeah, so for Faked, my like inspiration from it came from like the media coverage of deepfake technology and stuff, and how it was very like polarized with the major impacts of what deepfake technology has on like global stuff, like faking like people's like faces and doing fraud and stuff like that. And I wanted to go from it for like a more personal route. And one of the big things about deep fakes is that they're used in pornography a lot. And I wanted to take that not from like a larger perspective. That was like the original concept of it. It was very like vague. And then I wanted to take that and distill it down into something more personal and more like about a couple, and not make it entirely about that, and make it more focused on the relationship. So that's where mine came from mostly.
And Leilani?
Yeah, so I really wanted to tell a story that I didn't really see much in media. So there was that aspect, and I also wanted to experiment with my style and my voice as a director as well. So that's pretty much how Utica Avenue came about.
And maybe we'll just go back the other way. Like, Leilani, what was your process like? And maybe you could, I mean, you were working with mostly the Montclair Film School at the time, right? Mm-hmm. Maybe tell us what it was like to make the film, or what came about that was surprising?
Yeah, so about, I would say 90% of my film was shot in a New York subway. So there's like a lot of horror stories about that. Like, you have to have a permit, you got to sneak around. But honestly, it was really like a piece of cake to shoot down there. So that was the surprising aspect. And it was really cool. I worked with Montclair State students and everybody was just really cool. It was a really fun shoot. So yeah.
Evan, what was your shoot like?
So my shoot was a little bit more intensive. Like I went for a lot more visual stuff, but I think I got all my actors first, and I spent like so much time with my actors rehearsing because I made a film before this that was a mess in working with actors because I didn't rehearse. So I spent like most of my time rehearsing with the core main cast, which is only 3 people. So I tried to distill the story down as much as possible into the most necessary characters, because the script started off super broad, as I stated in the last question. And I just wanted to work with actors and focus on that. And luckily, like, my DP and everybody on my crew did like a great job at working on taking everything like that didn't focus on actors and doing a great job with it, and it came out great.
Alex?
It was a very short shoot.
Very short.
Very short, just one day. I think we only had, I think the longest you could rent out the Foley studio in the comm building was like 8 hours. So we got there at like 12 o'clock and we're just filmed the entire day. And I had a written out script with certain beats that I wanted to hit, but we kind of did that in the first 2 hours, and the rest of it was just recording the sounds and getting all the footage that we possibly could.
Mm-hmm. And you're working in sound now, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm about to do a boom up for a feature up in New York in about a week, and then yeah.
Oh, great! I was gonna ask about that. Okay.
Oh yes, that's right.
Adam.
So the shoot was fairly easy. I mean, we found a great arcade not too far from campus that we were able to shoot at. And the crew, they were just amazing. So that I don't want to really talk to that. I want to talk more towards the script side of it, because that took me forever. I had this one idea and I had written 2 drafts of it, and I just hated it. Hated it. One day I was in a coffee shop, and it just hit me, and I was able to write it like all there in like 2 hours, and then I handed it in, and that's pretty much what the movie became. But yeah, it was a fun one to shoot. It was just a little bit tough to write.
And Daniel, your process?
Well, it's interesting. I can't really talk about the process without talking about Amelia Spittler and her process. She was a producer on this film, and she kind of came along at the very, very beginning. She was Roberta, one of the instructors at Montclair. She was her personal assistant and or teaching assistant for the thesis class. And she came across my script and sort of went out of her way to call me up and said, "Let me produce this." And at that point, like I said, I was watching documentaries. It was The Instrument and Decline of Western Civilization. And I was wanting to do like a cinema verite, like shot on video camera, like wherever I could. It was going to be like very lo-fi and very, almost like haphazard, honestly, because the story was really the most important thing. I really didn't know much about production, but she sort of led the way and had her own vision for what the film could be. And we ended up really assembling a really phenomenal team of about 25 or 30 people. And she was instrumental in getting Jack DeFalco, our lead actor, who has done phenomenal work and is been laureled for it several times now. I'm really proud of him. Yeah.
And you used some alumni as well, or like recent?
Yeah, Josh Echevarria, he was way back in the early years of the film program. And yeah, there was also a lot of my own personal friends who just were going to be on it regardless. And then Amelia's more seasoned alumni joined in, Eric Tumalo, our production designer, and Brittany Zweer, the assistant director, who kept everything running on time. It was great. I've never been happier with the crew on set.
And what's your plan for next? Like, what next projects? Next. Okay.
I don't understand. I don't know what my plan for tomorrow is. It's
Hard time now.
I don't know. It's a weird time to be answering that question. But you know, I'm kind of playing it as it lays and see what I can do.
What have been the responses with your film? I know you've been around the circuit for a while.
Yeah, people are really they're really taken with Jack's performance and the music and the cinematography. Music by Ryan Yobbs. He wrote like original songs for the band. He wrote and recorded all by himself.
Okay.
And people just really I don't know, they respond very much to the character of Andy, and yeah.
And for the rest of you, like what is next, or like future things or things? I think your films are probably going to be continuing to be seen in other festivals too. This is the beginnings for some of them. Adam, you seem where are you off to next?
Well, I don't know. I'm in the middle of writing something that I really like right now, and I've got a pretty nice job in animation right now. So I don't know. I might try to delve into the world of animation next. I don't know.
Wow,
Yeah, it's a very big world, and I'm all in my house right now.
Leilani?
Yeah, just like everyone said, I'm just going with the flow, to be honest. I do have my apologies. I do have a short film that I'm thinking about starting up. It's been on my mind for a minute now, so that may be my next project. I'm also really interested in photography at the moment. So I've been doing that as of lately. So yeah, wherever, the wind takes me.
Cool. And Evan?
Yeah,
What are you up to now?
I've just been kind of writing scripts and stuff, trying to take concepts that I had that I came up with in my senior year, and just writing short scripts, either that be like something that I want to like take and make into a feature or something like that. But right now I'm just writing, and that's about it.
And Alex, you mentioned a boom operating, and sound work.
Yeah, I'm going to be booming a
Right.
feature. I've never worked on a feature before, so this will be very interesting. I'm so used to just doing like 3-day sets or 2 weeks of 3 days.
Yeah. And it's a COVID feature. It's special.
Yeah.
Like
A lot is running on getting a negative test right before it starts. So I'm staying extra careful for the next couple of weeks.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. I think that's all we have.